Although, my friends, with each passing day, the information from the Avdiivka direction becomes increasingly grim. So let's start this update right from there. Here, the occupiers continue to actively assault the positions of the Ukrainian Armed Forces near the coke and chemical plant. There remains a stretch of the front line where the Ukrainian Armed Forces hold their ground and don't retreat. However, after the occupiers breached the railway siding, the situation significantly worsened at the entrance to the city. Today, we see that there are only 790 meters left to the road from the extreme front line. So it's important to remember that there is a gray zone where the occupiers are already engaged in combat. Additionally, the constant shelling doesn't cease. Moreover, today battles are raging in the area of the private sector, and unfortunately, reports of such nature continue to come in.
In connection with the advance of Russian troops deep into the city, we want to give a memo on how to behave. First of all, you need to show that you are peaceful. 1. Raise your hands, show that you have no weapons, perform actions in coordination with the military, whatever will allow you to do, get documents, sit down somewhere, etc. Do not make sudden movements that can be regarded as a threat. 2. Let them check all the suspicious places in the room where someone could be hiding. The military must make sure that there is no one in the room except civilians. 2. Hand over mobile devices and electronics. Phones can be taken away for checking, but then returned. If you suddenly have a connection during active hostilities/street fighting, you should not tell anyone about the location of any military. 3. Show your documents, passports, and keep the documents in some pockets so that you have the documents with you in case you have to run. Documents should be obtained in agreement with the military, without sudden movements. 4. Do what is told, listen, be as attentive and careful as possible. Do not shout, do not provoke the military. You must understand that this is the military and any aggressive action can lead to a dangerous response.
As evident, the residents who remain there are being preparing for the possibility of being captured. From the southern side of the city, the occupiers are also advancing into the private sector. According to the latest reports, clashes have been documented in the area of Sportivna Street, which is approximately 1 kilometer and 200 meters from the confirmed front line. The situation is critical. We await further developments. So feel free to share your thoughts in the comments on this matter. Additionally, offensive actions continue on the flanks. The occupiers persist in trying to break through to Novobakhmutivka, Pervomaiske and Nevelske. However, they haven't succeeded here, and the front line remains unchanged. One of the defenders of Avdiivka described the situation unfolding there.
There is a great shortage of artillery shells in Avdiivka now. They climb every 20 to 30 minutes and have success in this. The number is decisive. FPV crews hardly sleep, the main shock burden falls on them. I am generally silent for the infantry, the guys are standing in fucking hell. To say that they are tired is to say nothing. There is nowhere to retreat, due to constant mass pressure. Any new position in 5 minutes becomes exactly the same as the previous one. We'll as long as we can, but we need more artillery and fresh reinforcements, said one of the defenders of Avdiivka.
As evident, the shortage of ammunition is practically constant, and so far an increase in ammunition production is planned only for this and next year. In the direction of Marinka, the occupiers are once again increasing their activity. 14 attacks were carried out in a day, and offensive actions continue. However, the occupiers are getting closer to Avdiivka, but the Ukrainian Armed Forces are holding their ground and not retreating. Battles have also resumed in the area of the village of Pobeda, and assaults on Novomykhailivka are ongoing. The Russians haven't achieved success on this front in a day, and the front line remains unchanged. In the Vuhledar direction, the occupiers continue shelling, but no new offensive actions are being recorded. In the Zaporizhzhia direction, the occupiers conducted 4 attacks in a day, and the main battles are taking place in the areas of Robotine and Verbove. However, despite the high activity and shelling, they haven't succeeded, and the front line remains unchanged. Also, it's important to remember that the term of operation of nuclear fuel at the Zaporizhzhia Nuclear Power Plant is coming to an end, and the situation at the station is fragile, as stated by the Director General of the International Atomic Energy Agency during a briefing in Kyiv.
Well, I have described the situation at the plant as a very delicate balance. I have also used the word fragile, going on different aspects, if you allow me. There is the issue of the staff, which your colleague just mentioned. There is, of course, the situation where the plant is operating with a very, very small number of operators. This is number one.
In the Kherson direction, the occupiers are attempting to push the Ukrainian Armed Forces of the left bank. However, all attempts have been unsuccessful so far. The Ukrainian Armed Forces have even installed a Ukrainian flag on the ruins of the village. There are also intensified shelling on the right bank, particularly targeting the area around the village of Krinki on the right bank. According to Russian reports, they believe that troops are being transferred to the Ukrainian Armed Forces stronghold from there. Overall, the situation is indeed complex, but the Ukrainian Armed Forces are managing and continue to hold the stronghold. Russian war correspondents described the situation as follows.
No change. Today, the enemy's bridgehead continued to be attacked by groups of the 328th Airborne Assault Regiment of the 104th Airborne Division. After 2 attempts, our troops withdrew to their original positions. There was artillery support, but there was no air support, as usual. Due to bad weather conditions, both ours and the enemy, they used drones less. In general, nothing breakthrough has happened. The Kraina drag continues. But against this background, having come up with nothing better, Teplinsky began to saturate the information field with invented victories, such as a staged video from the entry of our sabotage and reconnaissance group to the right bank without showing any results of the work of the sabotage and reconnaissance group.
In the Bakhmut direction, the occupiers failed to improve their positions near Ivanivske and Grigorivka, but there was confirmed minor advancement by the Russians near Bogdanivka, approximately 300 meters. They are attempting to encircle the village, but their efforts have been weak so far. In the Syrsk direction, the occupiers continue their offensive actions towards Bilohorivka and are breaking through the forests closer to Grigorivka. They conducted around 10 attacks within a day, and intense battles are ongoing, so we are waiting their results. In the direction of Krymna, attacks are again reported only near the village of Terne. Shelling continues in other settlements. The occupiers didn't succeed in advancing during the day, so the front line remains unchanged. In the direction of Svatove, the occupiers are showing little activity, and their situation has been stable for several days. In the Kupiansk direction, all assault operations have ceased for now, even in Sinkivka, with only shelling reported today. Similarly, the occupiers near Ivanivka haven't achieved any success, and only shelling is reported so far. The Ukrainian Armed Forces, on the other hand, remain in defense, and the territory near Krokhmalne and Avdiivka is not yet back under their control. Meanwhile, foreign publications continue to explore scenarios of attacks on NATO countries and beyond, and have published a new possible scenario.
Russia is predicted to mobilize 200,000 troops and launch a new offensive in Ukraine amid problems with Western partners' support for Kiev. The second phase is expected in the summer of 2024. Russia is predicted to target the Baltic states with cyber attacks and stoke unrest among ethnic Russians. As early as the fall of 2024, the Russian Federation may use the unrest as an excuse to start military exercises in Belarus and strengthen Kaliningrad. In the winter of 2024, Russia may ignite a border conflict in the Suwalki corridor between Poland and the Baltic states. The fifth phase is called the confrontation itself. As Russia confronts NATO forces, Putin will decide whether to launch an offensive on this territory. It is noted that the Russian economy continues to be subject to Western sanctions. A repeated doubling or tripling of military spending would bankrupt the country in a few years. According to the authors of the material, the Russian Federation does not have enough resources to pose a threat to Western countries.
Friends, what do you think about this scenario? Could it really happen? And that's all from me. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on all the latest news. Thank you for watching, and see you next time. Bye bye.